Hello, welcome back to another episode of Halftime TV viewers and subscribers. And today we will be airing the first episode of Ball Talk for 2022. So we'll give you guys the opportunity to join us. Please remember, as soon as you hop on, hit the like button. If you're new to the Halftime TV channel, hit the subscribe button as well. We'll be discussing the top football stories across the world. We'll also be giving away some surprises later on in the show. But again, as I said, first and foremost, hit that like button as soon as you join us. All right. So again, there are a number of top stories we have here. I'll just give a synopsis of what we have in mind, and it's the week of the Champions League as well. Some big fixtures to look forward to there. For those still playing fantasy football, we'll give a little bit of a discussion on that as well. Fantasy football, always a good time. Oftentimes I take a glance to see how I'm doing, but again, it's 38 games throughout the season, and not all of us have the mettle to make it all the way from game 1 to game 38. We neglect our teams, but nonetheless, we'll be touching a little bit on the fantasy football as well. Red Stripe Premier League in Jamaica, we'll be touching that as well. I did the preview for champs, just a little synopsis. If you didn't get the opportunity to check out that video, you can check it out as well. It should be right beneath this one on the YouTube channel, as I said before. All right, so again, big controversy in Germany as well. Bayern Munich, possibly they may lose some points. Their game against Freiburg at the weekend. At one point, they had 12 players on the field. We will discuss that as well. The Nations League draw also had that earlier on today. Let's find out what group Jamaica is in and if we have any chance whatsoever of claiming that title. We know the United States, they won it last time around. Let's see how that plays out this time around. As I said, the Red Stripe Premier League, Waterhouse tops the table. We have Dumble holding in second place, and they have the opportunity to get back on top of the table should they win their game tonight, and their game is against 9th place Jamalco. So again, that game starts 8:30 local time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in watching that, I think you should be able to see it on One Spot Media. So yeah, we have that. We have the Champions League, as I said. Big fixtures coming up. Liverpool fans, please tune in. Leave your comments in the comment section for your score predictions for the Liverpool fans. Manchester City fans, for those who aren't aware, I'm a big Chelsea fan. So we have our game coming up again as well on Wednesday, where we'll be playing against Real Madrid. Obviously, I think they will be the Spanish champions this year. So again, as I said, so some big stories to discuss. We will go through them one by one. We'll give you, the viewers, the opportunity as well to share your views and to call in, to have a voice. As I said, it's been a minute, so we're trying our best to get back into the groove, to get the momentum back building. Let me see, I'll post the link. If you're interested in calling in, you'll get the opportunity. So I'll post it right here so you guys can call in if you wish. All right. So, all right. I think that should be it. Yep. That's the link right there. We have Pedro's wonder strike against Sevilla over the weekend for Barcelona. Xavi and his youngsters are on the longest unbeaten run across Europe. Let's see how that one plays out. Probably they'll finish a close second to Real Madrid in the La Liga campaign Serie A. We had Inter Milan going up against Juventus at the weekend as well. That game was decided by a single goal. Big fixture there. Let's see how that plays out. AC Milan earlier on today, they dropped points against Bologna. Again, they're leading the Serie A, and that may very well be a dent in their push to claim the title over there in Italy. As I said before, we have all those stories and more. But before we go any further, let me say thank you to my sponsors, Prickling Shipping, RA Sports Store, and CSA Shop. And if you're new to Halftime TV, please remember to hit that subscribe button. We can't do it without you. Deals CFC, blessings deals. What do you think about where 30 is going to be against Madrid? I would come on, but my mic is not working. Not a problem, deals, not a problem. we'd be more than happy to discuss that as well. I think against Real Madrid, there are a number of things that may go in our favor, but there are also some things that may go against us. I think Ferland Mendy coming back for Real Madrid over the weekend is a big boost for them. Karim Benzema as well. We know he had a knock a few days ago prior to the weekend. He was back at the weekend. He got a brace, scored 2 penalties, missed 1. Some may say the calls were suspicious, but again, I think we have a very good chance. If I'm to be honest with you, if I'm to take anyone out of that Real Madrid team to go into the Chelsea team, it probably would be Benzema and Ferland Mendy. I think Ferland Mendy gets in the Chelsea team ahead of Marcos Alonso at left back. And obviously, we all know that Chelsea doesn't have a striker, so Benzema, he gets in easily. Do you think old school tactics? I think Thomas Tuchel will go back to what works for him. The last time around, he got results against them. And Carlo Ancelotti, he tested positive for COVID, so we're not sure as yet if he will be on the sidelines for that game against them at Stamford Bridge. So again, we're keeping an eye on that. I'm expecting Tuchel to go back to the 3 at the back formation. It has worked so well for him throughout the year and few months that he's been with Chelsea. It's never failed him, and I think he has the players to fulfill that tactical request on the field of play. Come Wednesday against Real Madrid, I expect a stark contrast performance from that game against Brentford at the weekend. I think we were lackadaisical against Brentford. We were slow, we were passive, and come Wednesday against Real Madrid, it will be a totally different Chelsea on the field of play. I think that the players, obviously Thomas Tuchel will be making some changes. Some of those players who were extremely disappointing in the game against Brentford at the weekend, they will be sitting on the bench come Wednesday in that game against Real Madrid. So again, there are a number of factors that may prove to be beneficial for Chelsea, but Real Madrid have the X factor in Benzema. Vinicius Jr., he's had a fantastic season as well so far, so let's see how that one plays out. Vinicius, he will be playing on Reece James's side, so I'm not so concerned about that. I think on the other side, where Marcos Alonso is, it's a tricky side, but Real Madrid in attack from the right, they have been struggling. So again, it's one of those things. Chelsea, I think we should be able to cope with it. What's your thoughts on the Ricketts situation? I think the Ricketts situation is one of those where, and let me backtrack a bit. Let me break it down the entirety of the whole ordeal. I think the statement was made a few years ago, and obviously that statement was always going to resurface if you're looking to buy a club like Chelsea. Considering Chelsea's current situation, the current predicament that we're in, it was always going to be uprooted, right? Also, no, it's extra scrutinized because it is a bidding process, right? So because there are other parties involved, they're obviously going to try their best to dig up dirt on the opposition to ensure that, okay, even if they can't match the opposition financially, they are basically coming up with a better image. And sometimes it's not about finances, but it's about the actual public perception. And that's what we're seeing now with the Ricketts situation. Because of the bidders who are vying to get Chelsea, I think the Ricketts group or the consortium that entails the Ricketts family, they have the most money. I think one of the backers, 23-point-something billion, another backer, 20 billion. So that's a combine of almost $50 billion. And again, we look at that and we say, okay, wow, they're loaded. But what's the other side of the coin? What's the flip side? And that's the dark past. And although the father was the one who made the statement, I think in any business, and anyone on here who are aware of business nuances and know-how, they will understand the entire ordeal. All right, the son obviously is going to be the face of the organization because of the statements the father made, and those statements were made public. Because those statements came public, the son had to take over, and the son had to be the new face, because again, image is what these companies dwell on. They need a good image in the public perception. And right now, I can't blame the Chelsea fans, and the son will come out and the son will say, okay, I don't share similar views as my father, and I disagree with what my father said, and they'll give you an 8-point plan and all of that fun stuff that looks good on paper and it sounds good when it's regurgitated, because they're prepped by PR teams. And I did media and communications in school, so I know what it means to say the right things, and I know what it means to use the right tone and all of that fun stuff to ensure that your audience is fully captivated. Because that's all I see now from the Ricketts family. They're trying their best to win over the Chelsea fans by saying the right things, because no, the fans are not having them. The fans are not interested in anything they have to say whatsoever. So they have to make some stern promises. If we compare that to the other bidders, they're not making any promises. They're not coming out and doing anything whatsoever. They're going through the regular process. All right, so I think it's a tricky one. I think they will never win over all the fans, because Chelsea is an extremely diverse club. They have an extremely diverse group of fans, one of the most diverse clubs there is. If at any given time there's always maybe 10, 15 different ethnicities in the Chelsea team. And again, it's just one of those clubs that people see themselves in, right? If you're black, you can relate. If you're Asian, you can relate. If you're from the Caribbean, you can relate, because you see yourself in Chelsea Football Club. And I think that's the challenge that the Ricketts family will face in acquiring the club. All right, I think I've said my bit on that. Do you think Roman Abramovich will have a say? Yes, I think Roman will have a say, regardless of what's happening with the government and all of that. And I'm hearing them saying, oh, Roman won't see a red cent and he won't get to decide. The government, no, like the government doesn't even know what it's doing, because they've made stipulations, they've come out with sanctions, they've done everything, and then, for example, they came out and said, okay, Roman Abramovich is sanctioned, and then Ukraine president came out and told the United States government not to sanction Roman Abramovich. So they've said, okay, this is how much you can spend on a match day, where a typical match day for Chelsea costs X amount, which is X amount more than the stipulated budget that the government gave them. So the government is all over the place, because they haven't researched properly. They haven't gotten the right information so as to put these rules and restrictions into place. So I think that's why they're looking like baboons, and it's basically backfiring on them for the most part. Every decision that they've made so far has backfired on them. They've had to reassess those decisions. They've had to brush up the decisions and to come again. And we continue to see it. We continue to see it. First they said, okay, you can't sell any tickets for the FA Cup games. Then we find out, okay, the tickets from the FA Cup games don't necessarily go directly to the club. They go to the FA, and then the FA divides it 45-45, and then 10% goes into their pocket. So why not collect the ticket revenue, hold on to it until the club is sold, and then redistribute it to the club? So it's all over the place, and it shows a lack of planning, and it shows that they're basically reactionary. They're just coming up with some knee-jerk reactions just because they can. All right. Do you think Atletico are gonna pressure City tomorrow? I think that will be a tricky game. I think Atletico versus Manchester City is one of those games where the style of play stark contrast. Manchester City, they're beautiful to watch, easy on the eyes. Atletico Madrid, on the other hand, they're extremely difficult to play against, but they know how to get the job done, right? They've been there, they've done that. Manchester City relatively new to Champions League when it comes to this stage of it. Pep Guardiola, he's been here before, however, with different teams, but we've seen where he's been overthinking of late. And I think one of the journalists asked him earlier on today if he thinks he's overthinking it too much, and he made a joke about playing 12 men, probably alluding slight dig there at Bayern Munich. But I think Atletico Madrid, they have all the resources to cause an upset against Manchester City, but Manchester City will go into this one as big favorites. As a matter of fact, they are favorites. They're one of the big favorites to win the Champions League this season, as they were last season. So again, if you're to follow the bet makers, you'll say Manchester City. But if you've been watching the games, you'll probably be a little closer to the middle, because we've seen City stumble, we've seen them lapse. However, because they have so much quality on the field, they've seldom been punished. And I think Atletico Madrid, they have the resources, they have the firepower to punish Manchester City if Manchester City is not on their game. I think, however, Atletico Madrid being without, I think it's Jimenez. Yeah, I think they will be without Jimenez tomorrow in that game. So that should be a little bit tricky for them, although Manchester City as well, they will be without Ruben Diaz. So again, one of those games that could go either way. Manchester City will be huge favorites, but again, it's neither here nor there, really. It's neither here nor there. A quality team. Joao Felix, he's been on a hot run of form. I think he's had 5 goals and 2 assists, or 5 goals and 3 assists in his last 8 games. He's been good. His form is picking up, and we're now seeing the player that Atletico Madrid paid $130 million for. So again, big game for Manchester City, big game for Pep Guardiola. He definitely needs to win the Champions League this season, and I think if he doesn't win the Champions League, I said it last season as well, if he didn't win the Champions League, it would have been a failure. Pep Guardiola hasn't done anything that the other managers who managed Manchester City hasn't done. He's come in, he's won the English Premier League, fine. Mancini won it too. He's won the FA Cup, he's won the League Cup, fine. Pellegrini and Mancini, they won those too. So what are you doing different? They brought you in to win the big one, and the big one is the UEFA Champions League. And Manchester City are still struggling. They're yet to take home that big Ayers trophy. Last year it was against Chelsea, and let's see if they'll even make it to the final this year. If all goes well, they will be ending up playing Chelsea in the semi-final round of this year's tournament. I think Simeone is going to try and come park the bus tomorrow against them. Well, again, remember, there's no away goal rule. There's no away goal rule, so it's all going blazing from the onset, and both teams will try to win both legs. And we know Simeone's football isn't the most positive. It tends to sit back a little bit. He tends to try and play a little bit more conservative than others, although he has such surplus of talent. It's just one of those things, and it's just his way. And folks will say, but Simeone isn't playing to his strengths and whatnot. He is the manager. He's been the manager for the longest while, and he must know what works for him. Folks used to say the same thing about Jose Mourinho. He has all these attacking players, and yet he's parking the bus. Works for him, and you use what works for you. And if it's been working, why change something that's not broken? Good evening, Walker. Good evening. As I said, welcome to Halftime TV Ball Talk, folks. The first episode for 2022. Trying to get this up and running again. We'll be doing it every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 8 p.m. Central Time. And if you're in the UK, I think it should be around 11 p.m. thereabout. No, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, probably 1 p.m., 1 a.m., sorry. So we'll see. What's your thoughts on Gallagher against Arsenal? I think Gallagher was good for the first, he was good for the first 60 minutes, and then he faded out of the game somewhat, and then he was back again to his very best throughout the last maybe 10 minutes or so. Throughout the last 10 minutes, I think he found his footing again, because around that 60-minute mark, I think Arsenal, they were dominant in possession. They had Crystal Palace chasing. Gallagher, few poor decisions where he lost the ball on top of the 18-yard box, and Arsenal couldn't make them pay for it. But overall, I think, again, it was another energetic performance. I can't wait for him to get back to Chelsea. Can't wait for the season to be over. Just a few more games and he'll be back home. I think he is a big talent, and he's definitely one who will contribute significantly to the Chelsea team next season. Those Arsenal lot got humbling down. And I'm happy too. I'm happy because I think yesterday someone sent me a message asking me what happened against Brentford, and this person was an Arsenal fan. So I messaged them today and asked them what happened against Crystal Palace, and I'm yet to get a reply. Let me check if they've responded as yet. No response here. No response yet. So again, lesson to take from that, folks: don't start celebrating until your team has played. All right, so it's one of those things. But let me know. Drop your comments in the comment section. Let me know what your team is and how your team did over the weekend. What do you guys think of Manchester United and their performances of late? Ralph Rangnick, will he be there in an advisory role come the end of the season? I think he's struggled to manage the team so far. He's not had the impact that folks were assuming he would have had, and it will prove challenging if he is to stay on in a significant role come the end of the season. Eric Ten Hag, what do you think of his appointment should it come to fruition? Eric Ten Hag or Mauricio Pochettino, what is your pick, Manchester United fans? Let us know here at Halftime TV. But yeah, as I said, if your team is in Champions League action this week, congratulations, you've made it thus far. If you're a Liverpool fan, welcome to the channel as well. What do you think went wrong against Brentford? Deals CFC, I think the question is what went right, because quite frankly, everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. I'm struggling to find something that went right in that game against Brentford. I think the team, it's just one of those games, and again, we are entitled to one of those games. We've been good throughout the year so far. I think in the Premier League we only lost against Manchester. No, I think in the Premier League we only lost against Manchester City this year. We lost against Liverpool in the final, which is just one of those things. Penalty shootout could have gone either way. So it was coming, and as I said in my post-game reaction, I'd prefer losing that game against Brentford than any of the other games that we have upcoming. We have Real Madrid, then we have Southampton, then we have Real Madrid again, and then we have Crystal Palace in the semi-finals. So those are our 4 big games, and as I said, I prefer to lose this one and then brush ourselves off and then bounce back. Had it been a Real Madrid first leg loss, I think I would have been more worried. I'm not worried. I'm not fazed by that loss to Brentford. As a matter of fact, I think Brentford thoroughly deserved it. They deserved it from the first leg. They deserved to win that game against us. Had it not been for Mendy and his brilliance in that first leg, I think we would have lost that game by maybe 2 or 3 goals as well. So again, big performance from Brentford, thoroughly deserved. Hats off to you, and they'll definitely be playing in the top flight next season as well. Thoroughly deserved. Do you remember last year when it happened to us against West Brom? We went on to win the season. There you go. There you go. So we're due one of those. I don't mind. I'll take it. I'll take it any day of the week. I'll take one of those off days, as long as it's not in the cup semi-final or in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I'll take it. We're 5 points clear. We're 5 points clear in third place with our closest opponents being Tottenham Hotspur. They played a game more than us. Arsenal, they too are 5 points off us, but they played the same number of games. So again, we're almost safe in third place. We're almost safe. We're almost safe in third place. Deals, hold on, Deals. All right, my favorite Chelsea player at the moment here. Favorite Chelsea player at the moment, right? See? Yeah, the German, you know? The German. He got me the Champions League trophy, and I said to myself I needed to get a Kai Havertz jersey, because I have a number of Hazard jerseys, I needed to get Kai Havertz. I was waiting actually to see what player's jersey I was gonna get. Last season, I think when I got my jersey, I got my name printed in the back because I wasn't quite sold on a favorite player at the time. I thought Walker. uh, yeah, Rudiger gets the job done. I want him to stay. I hope he stays. But let's see how that goes. Walker, Colin Walker. Let's hear what's been happening, what you've been up to, you and Jay, over there in the US. So let's hear what you guys have been up to. But Rudiger is a top player. He's one of the best in the Premier League at the moment. I think had Chelsea gone on to win the league, he would have had a load say in being the player of the season. But obviously, because of where Chelsea is on the table right now, he probably won't get player of the season, but he's definitely one of the defenders of the season, if not the defender of the season. I think mistakes that have led to goals, I can't remember off the bat any that Rudiger has made that has resulted in goals throughout the season. All the other top defenders, I can easily say a game that they've lapsed in and it has resulted in a goal. So I think Rudiger has been steady. He's been firm, competent, and he's delivered week in, week out for Chelsea. I think that goal at the weekend, wow, sublime. He deserved that one. He's been fantastic, and I think it's just sad that he didn't get anything. That goal wasn't a game winner. It's just one of those things, though. But yeah. Hold on. Blessings.
Oh, go on, boss.
I'm here. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How's everything?
I'm here. Hold on. Let me turn it up a bit. Yeah, I haven't heard you guys in a minute.
Yeah, man. It's definitely been a while, you know?
True. How's the team going? What do you think about the back end of the season? How do you think your team will finish? What are your expectations?
Well, you don't know Liverpool on my side already. And, you know, we've been doing good. I think the addition of Luis Diaz during the transfer window was definitely a good pickup for us. He's been more than what I think a lot of Liverpool fans expected. You know, and I think right now, to be honest, he's giving Mane a run for his money on that left side. And yeah, I mean, this running is going to be a tricky one, you know, because I mean, we're fighting in all competitions right now. And, you know, I must say, Klopp has been managing the team pretty well. You know, he's been rotating the players them pretty well. So, you know, I'm hoping for.
Question. What do you think of the Salah situation? Klopp came out in his press conference today and said negotiations are still ongoing. Do you think Liverpool will match Salah's salary expectations, or do you think they'll allow him to leave, considering the firepower that you currently have at your disposal? Now, mind you, Salah hasn't been on the score sheet of late. It has been mostly Jota. Other players chipping in with goals here and there, but Salah has somewhat faded away over the past few games. Do you think Liverpool can now afford to be without Salah?
Well, first, yeah, he hasn't been on the score sheet. I think that African Cup of Nations game, I think, really affected him, and then to come play Senegal again for this World Cup qualifier and then getting beaten by them again. I think those two games is kind of affecting him right now in a sense.
Yes,
but
mental space.
yeah. But you know, we all know once he cleared that mental space and he starts finding his game again, you know, it definitely a force on that right side to be reckoned with. Based on what I've been reading and I've been hearing through the grapevines, though, it seems like there seems to be a resolution coming with regards to the contract. Like it sounds like they have come to an agreement. So I wait to hear what the final details are and see if it actually came to fruition that he has re-signed.
All right.
With regards
These
to
these
with
wants to
regard,
know if you think missing Trent is gonna be is gonna affect your challenge for the league.
Trent only missing the Watford game.
Okay.
He's back. He's back.
Okay.
He was
So
they only put him off for the Watford game as a precaution. I mean, it's not to say it's Watford, but he could have taken that extra rest.
yeah, you can afford to
And
rotate against Watford.
right. Like I said, because Gomez can play right back as well, play as a center back. So technically, some parts of the game, it seemed like we were playing with a back three at parts of the game because there are times where Gomez didn't even move, and it's just the three of them back there. So, but Trent is back. As far as I know, he's back. He's back in training because I was actually watching training today over in Liverpool before they flew out, and he was on the field. So
Okay.
that's good.
Following up, are you worried going into the City game?
Last year, not even last year, would I say year before, I would have said yes. But I think
You think they
since the
have their ticket
season,
this year?
since the season start, and I'm not gonna go that far and say I got them ticket because we know it's City. It's City. You understand? So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna toot my horn before the game. But since the season start, Van Dijk has looked like he has returned to his self again. He hasn't really been doing much. I think Matip has been doing more than
Yeah.
him, to be honest. But he looks like he's back to his old self again.
That's one of the problems I have with Van Dijk because he's not doing so much. He loses concentration at times, and um, there are a number of games this season where Matip misjudged and attackers were in on goal. Had it not been for Alisson, or even in some cases, they've ended up even scoring because of Van Dijk's positioning. He's anticipating that, for example, Matip will get it covered, so I don't need to do anything. I don't need to anticipate worst case scenario. And that's how all the best defenders think. They always think worst case scenario. They always assume that their partner is going to miss. So I need to put myself in a position to clear up his mistake. Van Dijk hasn't been doing that over a number of games, and I've seen it. And I know the pundits, they won't say it because they're big fans of Van Dijk, but I've seen it, and I've said to colleagues, look what's happening. Because Liverpool has been so dominant in games, because he's had so little to do, he's had so many lapses in concentration as well, again. So I think that may pose a challenge in the game against Manchester City. Because if he is not on his P's and his Q's, City will punish you. And City can punish any team in world football as things stand now.
That is so true. I completely agree with him. He does tend to lack in some games. He definitely tends to. And that's why I say I ain't gonna toot my horn before this game because I know City and the quality, even without a number 9, them still possess that quality that can punish you in games. But I think with the firepower we have, and if Klopp picks the right midfield for this game, we can take them.
What
For
is the
me,
right midfield, though?
for my midfield, I would start Fabinho, Henderson, and it's a toss-up between Thiago and Keita for me.
In the game against Manchester City?
Yeah.
You said you started Henderson?
Henderson, Fabinho,
okay.
and it's a toss-up between Thiago and Keita. I'm more leaning to Thiago. But Keita he has come down of late. He has been really putting in some quality games of late. It seems like he's taking care of himself better, I think, and he's not really overreaching or overstretching for balls like he normally does. Because I think that was one of his tendencies where he was picking up them groin injuries. He was overreaching for the ball.
Okay.
So
final question before I go back to the comment section, because I have a number of questions here now. Do you know Darwin Núñez? Do you know that player? Plays for Benfica. I think he's Uruguayan, right? He's Uruguayan, I think.
Think he plays out on the wing?
Yeah, he has been their main attacker this season.
Yeah. Well, it's between him and Yarmouk, the Ukrainian. Yarmouk
Yeah,
has been
I
doing
know
well as well.
Yarmouk, but Darwin Nunes, he is
Uh-huh.
the main man. He's been getting the goals. I think he's had 27 goals in 34 appearances this season. Top striker. What are your thoughts on him, or do you have an opinion of him? Have you seen any of him at all? Okay, all right, fair enough. Take a look at him. Take a look at him, and probably send Klopp the clips as well.
Hey, let me tell you something. There's one thing I know. Klopp already know about him. I guarantee you that.
Well, he said he had a 10-minute conversation with Luis Diaz, and he understood nothing. So I think they need to look at that. They need to look into that. Blessings 1-1. Blessings 1-1. Loyal halftime TV supporter as well.
Man say Arsenal
The
get
air good
mistreated.
finisher. Yep, definitely. Top player.
Oh,
Arsenal got mistreated. Yeah. Mistreated. I agree. Mateta, I think considering they were without Eze and they were without Olise, it's surprising that they still gave Arsenal such a thrashing.
I think Mateta manhandled their centre backs today. Between Gabriel and White, he manhandled them.
Arsenal has been that team though. They play crisp football, nice football, and everything. But once it gets to the physical bit, they'll struggle. And I think that's why Lukaku looked so good when he had that debut against them. it was a mauling.
Speaking of Lukaku though.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lukaku, in your opinion, did you think Chelsea really need him?
I think in hindsight, we can say probably Chelsea didn't need him. But at the time when Chelsea got him, we were lacking an out-and-out striker. We had Timo Werner playing it. Remember, Kai Havertz wasn't playing there as often. It was Timo Werner playing down the middle and Kai Havertz coming in from the left, right? So it was a tricky situation. We got an out-and-out centre forward. He was dominant in Serie A. It was, at the moment, it was a wonderful buy. And when he was brought in, all the pundits were tipping Chelsea to win the league because of his addition. So now we can look back and say, okay, it was a bad buy because it's not working out. No. But at the moment, it was a good buy. And I think, again, it's a lot to do with how Chelsea plays and the type of players that Chelsea have at their disposal. That's why he's been struggling. Thomas Tuchel, he's come out a number of times and said it's a team sport. We won't change it for any individual, which is understandable because it's the same team that won the Champions League last season. We only added a striker. So,
but that's why I pose the question, because I'm like, you play without an out-and-out striker last year. You went and took the Champions League. I understand Lukaku was on fire in Serie A. But if it's the same team as last year and you put back the trust in them this year, if it wasn't going according to plan, then fine, you could have went in and got him in January.
Yeah, but the thing is what you need to look at is Chelsea lost two of the key components of their attack in Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Right now, the time when we lost these individuals, Lukaku was finding his feet. Lukaku got a slight injury, came back. Reece James went out fully injured. They weren't there anymore to supply the crosses in. And the persons we have playing wing back now, Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcus Alonso, they don't give you that brisk overlapping run and the crosses inside the box that Lukaku thrives on. So one can understand why he is struggling. And we're quick now to jump the gun and to say, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. I think it's unfair on Lukaku. I understand that his game needs to be a little bit more all-rounded. However, we understand the type of player he is. He thrives on crosses. He wants the ball at his feet. He wants to get the balls in behind. Chelsea hasn't been doing that often.
He's that hold-up player. He likes to hold up the ball.
And
And to
even when he
me,
holds it up, there isn't anyone overlapping, because when he
well,
holds it,
that
there's
and that's
oftentimes
why.
Reece James or Ben Chilwell going down the flanks that he can pass
Mhm.
it to, and then wait for the ball to come back in on the penalty spot. That
Right.
hasn't been the case. So
And
I'm not bashing Lukaku too much. I think he is a top quality striker. He is struggling now somewhat. He still had 11 goals so far this season. So again, by his standards, it's a poor season, but he will get you goals as soon as everyone is back up and running. And I could say the same. How would Liverpool survive this season without Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson down the flanks, supplying those inside? So it's one of those things.
Well, for in that situation, the beauty of it, they say for Robertson now, Simicast has been very good. Simicast has
He
been
has.
very
I
good,
agree.
and I think that kind of helped to push Robertson even more, because when he was out, when he got that knock and he was out, Simicast was very good on that left back, and I think, right now, as you asked me about the City game, how City have at least two players for every position. I feel
Yeah.
that we have that same team
Yeah.
setup right now. We have two players for
And not
every
only
position.
two players of almost equal ability.
Right.
Because if you look at Chelsea, at our left back, it's Ben Chilwell, who is extremely athletic. He's quick. He's good defensively. He's also good in attack. We have Reece James, good defensively, also good in attack. But then we have Azpilicueta, who is good defensively, but not so great in the attacking third. Then we have Marcus Alonso, who is good in the attacking third, but not so good defensively. And he's extremely slow, so he doesn't get down the flank as quick. So oftentimes, even when we're counter-attacking, he's dribbling forward and he's going the speed of a roller. I'll get back to that in a second. Let me get over to the comments. One. It was not surprising to me Arsenal have only won 2 games this season against teams that are both in a decent position in the league and in form. So there was only going to be one outcome. What do you think of Arteta getting manager of the month, though, 1-1? Because that's manager of the month, That's manager of the month, having played, 4 games and won 3 that they were expected to win. One including Wolves, where they celebrated like they won the league. And then they lost against Liverpool. Who do you think will? All right, I think for top 4, I think Arsenal are in pole position, but I think Tottenham Hotspur will get it. Will get it. I think
it's gonna come down to that North London derby. Remember,
I heard today that game will be played in May, so it's almost at the end of the season. So it's all on the line. If we'll see what it's like when we get to that time of the season, and then, because probably by the time we get to the North London derby, it doesn't even matter anymore. Right. I think Tottenham will. Yeah, I share your view.
I think Tottenham has the quality to take it, though.
They do.
I like that guy Kulusevski.
Big baller, man. Big baller. Big baller. Well, one of the signings at the January transfer window. Big player. I've been a big admirer since he was at Juventus. He was playing with Cristiano Ronaldo, but he was a big part. He only came on maybe 5-10 minutes, oftentimes at the back end of the games. He knows how to find the goal. I think Antonio Conte is playing him a little bit out wide, but if you put him closer to goal as well, he can get on the score sheet. Very clinical finisher as well.
He has definitely shown the quality. He can play that attacking midfield position. Yeah, it definitely showing it. Yeah.
Deals. I think Werner and Lukaku will be sold in the summer. Well, that would be good if we get in Haaland.
But it's funny, I go into that before you move on to the comments. Playing Lukaku with Werner seems to work better for him most of the times than playing him up top by himself.
True.
But it's just that, the coach manager don't really play a two striker. So that's where Lukaku does a struggle. Because when he was at Inter, him and Martinez play up top, right?
True. All right, let's see who else we have. We have another Liverpool man on here. Blessings, Steph Curry. Welcome, Liverpool.
Big boss, Steph.
Yeah, man, Liverpool in and out. Manager of the month is fine, but if he don't get top 4, he should get sacked. Whoa, Arsenal having big ambitions there. Arsenal, you need to remember, you haven't played in Champions League for almost half a decade, Well, half a decade. When was the last time Arsenal played in the Champions League? It's been a minute,
When them get the 5 from Bayern.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
From
It's been a
both
minute,
legs.
Arsenal. So don't push a basket, Arsenal. Settle for Europa League this season, and then probably next season you can push for Champions League. Settle for the Thursday League, because as things stand now, you don't even have Thursday League.
You don't even have the Conference League.
True. So Arsenal ain't getting it. Blessings, Steph Curry. Still going through the comment section. Where you from in Jamaica? I got family in Montego Bay. Nice. I am originally from Hanover, Deals. I'm originally from Hanover. That's my home. Tottenham have a great front 3. The rest of the team is average, but the coach is not. Romero and Bentancur are good. The rest of the team is average to poor, in my opinion. What's that midfielder's name?
Who? Højbjerg?
Højbjerg. Top player. Højbjerg's a top player, and I think Doherty is proving to be a good signing as well. When Mourinho signed him, everyone was turning their heads. They were frowning. He's proven to be a top player. Do you like Liverpool playing with the high line? I think that one is for you.
I mean, we've been playing with the high line. It's kind of the same kind of style of play that City plays with as well. City plays with a high line as well, and I think with the pace that we have in the back 4,
But look at it this way: City plays with the high line, but City plays Kyle Walker, who has extreme recovery speed. I don't think Liverpool has that person. I think Van Dijk is quick, but compared to Kyle Walker, no.
No, yeah.
So I think City can afford to play it. And
well, I think Robertson is the quickest out of the 4 back there. I think Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent is the slowest. We know that. Trent is the slowest. That's why when we play them big games, Henderson has to play, because Henderson is the one that covers him on that right side.
Yeah.
So, but
Arteta finished 8th twice, has spent more than any other coach in our history. Don't finish 4th, he needs to go. What do you one question? What do you think of Patrick Vieira taking over from Arteta? Think about that. And let me know what you think. Because quite frankly, I don't think Patrick Vieira has done bad. I think even getting the Arsenal job, having shown what he's capable of with Crystal Palace, would actually make sense, because when Arteta came into Arsenal, he didn't have a resume. Right?
Who got hired first, Arteta or Vieira?
Arteta, man.
Arteta.
Remember Vieira only recently came in, because
because the thought process was they thought that they would have hired Vieira, but they went for Arteta because he was sitting on the City bench.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't see Vieira getting that job, if I'm to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I don't know. I just couldn't see him getting the job. It's too much politics involved, and there are so many variables, especially when it comes to top clubs. It would be difficult for him to get the job. With Vieira, I think it's the same way I feel about Lampard as I feel about Arteta. I don't think Lampard should have gotten the Chelsea job. He got the job. He got us in top 4. Fine, I'll take that. But personally, I just think there's a ceiling, and he just can't go further than that because he's not capable of doing it. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't think he was ready for it yet either.
True, and he's still not even ready for the Everton job. He should be coaching in the Championship or Division 1. Like that's how bad he is. Like I think he needs to be someone's understudy. He needs so much more in order to become a top quality coach.
He needs to, as you say, go back to the Championship or even go up to Scotland and put in a couple of years. That's what he should have done. That's what he definitely should have done.
Exactly. So see, all right, one thinks Vieira is a better coach. Let's go
Mm-hmm.
over to Deals FC. CFC Kante had a poor say the other day. Do you think he's gonna turn up against Madrid? Do we know what he's capable of doing? Yeah, I'm not worried about Kante. As I said, he's due an off day. Other players, they're due an off day. And I think at the weekend, that was the off day. When it comes to Champions League, when the lights are on, N'Golo Kante is a different beast.
He's at
And
his best.
I expect him to run the guts out of Cruz and Casemiro and Modric or whoever it is that Real Madrid puts in the midfield, whether it is Valverde, whoever shows up, they will have to contend with Kante ×3. So
Casemiro will clip him every chance he get.
well, there's a card to be had as well. Vieira is doing well so far still, but I think Arteta will get at least one more season. And Steph Curry, with the one more season thing, again, I think had it been Chelsea, he would have been gone already.
Long time.
It's partly to do with the emotions that Arsenal usually make decisions on, right? They act with emotions too much rather than results. If they were solely results oriented, I think they would have been better off as a club.
But
right,
but look at it though. Look how funny it is. Remember when they had what's the coach that was there before him? That's coaching Villarreal now. Emery. Yeah, Emery didn't last as long as Arteta is lasting now, and Emery had a better record than him.
He did. So.
And the minute they got a chance, they said Emery bye, and they took Arteta, and he's getting all the chances to get the team the right way, and he's not doing it.
True. Folks, remember, as soon as you hop on, hit the like button, the more likes the video has, the wider the reach, all right? As I said about Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta, it's the emotional bit, and it's the same. And when Arteta was at Arsenal and Lampard was at Chelsea, when they both came in, I was looking at it and I said to myself, I think Arteta came in as a better coach, but the bar wasn't that high. Right, because he was Pep's understudy for quite some time. He decided to learn from Pep for a minute before he actually took on the role for himself. Frank Lampard was with Derby County. What credentials did he have to earn the Chelsea job? None. He got the job. Had he not been fired, I think Chelsea would have probably been playing in the EPL this season or something of the sort. It's just one of those things. And again, folks, even the pundits in UK, they keep saying, oh, they think Chelsea shouldn't have fired Lampard when they did. But Thomas Tuchel, he justified his appointment by winning the Champions League and getting to the FA Cup final. So I think it's one of those things where we may look back and say it was harsh, but again, it was justified. All right, Vieira changed the backline to players that can pass the ball and revamp the entire team and playing style. Vieira is going to be a great coach. I want a top coach personally, but Vieira will be good. All right. But there aren't any top coaches really, There aren't a lot of top coaches, If you're to go through them, they're probably a handful.
The question is, who would he like to see come into coach Arsenal?
Yeah. So the Arsenal. Oh, do you think it's good? All right. One said Arteta is a Spanish baller hard. Whoa.
Wow.
I think I'll probably make that the title of one of my videos. You made my night.
Tell one say him win. Him win with that one day.
Yeah, man, him win. But yeah, as I said, when it comes down to ambition, Arsenal, I think they're more concerned about the money bit and all of that, more than the glory. And again, fair to each his own. I'm happy with my club being concerned about trophies because as a fan, you want to see your club win trophies. Steph Curry, you're a Liverpool fan. Walker, you're a Liverpool fan. You guys waited almost 30 years before you won the English Premier League. You won the Champions League, 2005 thereabout, and then you had to wait another 10, 13 years again before you won it again. So it's one of those things. You want to see trophies. You want to see the biggest trophies coming home. And then imagine you being a Liverpool fan and throughout your lifetime, you haven't seen your team win
at
the
least
English Premier League or the Champions League. It's one more. I'm sure you haven't seen Arsenal win the Champions League. One of those things. True, the season has not moving on. We won't stay on that. True, the season has not finished yet, but I had already hired Conte, but another top coach will become available at some point. True, but as I said, will Arsenal go out and spend what it takes to get one of the top managers? Will Arsenal be willing to pay the salary that top managers desire? Right. So, and there are a few top managers that I can think of that. Does Arsenal have that appeal? That's the other question. Does Arsenal have the appeal to attract the top managers? Right? Because before the managers come in, they're going to ask the ambition of the club. Does the club's ambition align with the ambition of the managers? Because like fans, managers want to have trophies. They want to have a resume that says, okay, X amount of Premier Leagues, X amount of finals, X amount. You get what I'm saying? So it's a tricky one. I'm hoping and I'm praying for your team. Let's see how it comes. It plays out in the end. What are your thoughts on Manchester United? Woo. I'm liking the discussion tonight, I'm liking the discussion. And I had some topics written down that I planned on discussing, but
save them for next week.
I don't mind. I think Manchester United is sending the wrong message all around the pitch. They got in an interim manager. They promised him a role before the season even ended. I think when they got the interim manager, they should have actually gone out and just spent the money and gotten the actual manager, because that would have cost them less if we're considering the variables now. Because Manchester United missing out on the Champions League is going to cost them a whole lot of money, right? No, that money that is going to cost them, had they gone out and gotten the right manager, then they probably would have been in the Champions League places, or they would have had a better chance of being in the Champions League places, and then that would have balanced out itself. All right. As it relates to the other aspects of the field, I think overall Manchester United is just fully disjointed as things stand now. Giving Bruno Fernandes a new deal for an additional 3 years, preposterous, really. I think he now becomes the second highest earner, the third highest earner behind Cristiano Ronaldo and De Gea. Crazy stuff. The dude still has 3 years left on his contract, and you're giving him a new deal for an additional 3 years. So he now stays on until 2026, 2027, somewhere there. Crazy stuff. So I think
made no sense.
Yeah, no, wasn't the time to be discussing renewal of contracts or updated deals. Yeah. Because where the team was, and you're looking to bring in a new manager in the summer. What happens if the new manager who comes in doesn't fancy Bruno Fernandes? What happens then? Then you're putting yourself in another predicament. You went out, well, you got rid of Paul Pogba for free. You bought him back for £90 million, and you're losing him again for free. It baffles me. It baffles me.
Then
the decisions that Manchester United are making.
Then you went out and paid 80 million for a fridge. Which,
right. So you bought Harry Maguire for £80 million. You make him captain straight off the bat. You had De Gea there playing for how many years? Harry Maguire having an awful season now. It's difficult to motivate the rest of the team because he's the captain and he's having an extremely
horrible season.
So how do you then say to an Anthony Elanga after a bad game that this is what you need to do? You can't, because you yourself need to look in the mirror, right? You don't have that aura, you don't command that respect. Had it been Cristiano Ronaldo, then he probably could have. Even Harry Maguire, probably he's looking across and saying, okay, I'm having such an awful season. Look at Ronaldo over there. He must be looking at me and saying, okay, what a jackass. Right? So it's decisions that need to be made. And I think
There's a
Manchester
whole
United,
disconnect. There's a whole disconnect in that club.
yeah,
Whole
they're
disconnect.
not making the big decisions correctly. 1-1, Arteta has turned finishing fourth into an achievement. Winning the title is an achievement. Fourth is the bare minimum requirement, not an achievement. I agree 1-1. And as I said, it's the ambition of the club. It's the ambition of the club because the mere fact that Arteta has that ambition and it's okay, it's because those who are upstairs are okay with it as well. Because had they not been okay with it, he would have been through the door. All right, exactly. The new coach don't like him. The new wage will make him hard to sell. But difficult, as I said. It's just one of those things where you look at it and you wonder the reason behind it, because these folks are some of the best business minds in the world, right? They've been doing well on Wall Street. They're making how much million profit annually of dividends that they're taking out of the club, putting in their pocket. They're business minded. So when you see decisions like these, it begs the question: are they really as smart as we think they are? I don't know. Doesn't seem that way from where I'm sitting. All right. Let's see. Remember, they tried thinking they can take Tuchel off us. No chance. Nah. Yeah. No. I think Manchester United, and it's sad, It's sad because Manchester United has been feeding off Chelsea. Manchester United has been feeding off Chelsea. They've been looking to Chelsea players. So many players over the years, Matic, Mata, they've left Chelsea because Manchester United has wooed them away. Then they were looking at Antonio Conte at one point as well to get in there. They took Jose Mourinho as well, although Jose Mourinho had left Chelsea. But again, it's sad because the culture of Manchester United wasn't like that. Manchester United has always been a club to develop the best talent, and then they scout properly across Europe and then bring those talent in. It wasn't like Manchester United to look at other top clubs and to try and pick those talents off these top clubs. And that includes the managers as well. See, they went out, they got Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho got last trophy for them a number of years ago. They sacked him because he didn't fit the culture of Manchester United. But I want to put it out there now to the Manchester United fans on here and the Manchester United fans who are subscribed to Halftime TV. What exactly is the Manchester United culture? Leave it in the comment section. All right. Do you think we can lock down Benzema? I think something will have to give, Something will have to give. I think what's his name? Vinicius Jr. will be playing on Reece James's side. So Reece James will have his hands full with Vinicius. In the middle, I think Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger, they should be able to take care of Karim Benzema. But again, he is, if not the best striker in the world at the moment. So it won't be a walk in the park. Karim Benzema, he's on form, top form as well. Yeah, but Aspas at the weekend said it was almost as if the referee was trying to give him a hat trick of penalties. Let's hope he doesn't get any penalties against us.
You think Hazard will play?
Hazard is out for the rest of the season.
Oh, he's out. Okay.
Yeah. He has a surgery coming up, I think.
That's what you call a lemon.
Emery got sacked for falling short of fourth. Wenger got sacked because he was tired of finishing fourth without spending money. Arteta spends so much and still fourth looks great. That's how bad he is. What do you think of Arteta letting go Mesut Ozil and Aubameyang? What do you think of those decisions? Because obviously Ozil was on a big contract when he came in, but he renewed Aubameyang's contract, blockbuster deal, and then he ended up letting him go for free. And then Arsenal is still now paying a part of his wages. So, what do you think of that one? Obviously, you're an Arsenal fan, so I'd like to hear what you think of that from a business perspective, considering Arsenal are a little bit more concerned about the revenue aspect. Owners that only care about the money is a problem. At Arsenal, like you said, the same at Manchester United too. We need the crowd to be up for Wednesday as well. Yeah, Tuchel spoke about it. He said we need a better atmosphere for Wednesday. Again, as I said, Champions League nights are different. I expect it to be a fascinating game. Real Madrid, Mr. Champions League. Some may say they are the Champions League club. Yet they've gone up against Chelsea 5 times in European competition. Chelsea hasn't lost a game against them as yet. So will this be the night? I don't think Real Madrid were how do I put this? I don't think they were good. I don't think they were great. They were good, but they weren't great in the game against PSG. They ended up winning that one, but I think they were a little bit more fortunate. But again, I think Chelsea is a totally different kettle of fish in comparison to PSG. We will be a little bit more tight at the back. We will be a little bit more robust, and I think we will be a whole lot. We will need to be a whole lot more clinical going forward. The man dropped Ozil and had Willock playing as a 10. Madman Arteta should have sold Aubameyang before he got the new deal. Too old for long-term deal, gave him all that money, then a free transfer. But I could make an argument one that Aubameyang deserved the deal, because at one point he was carrying Arsenal on his back. When he got the deal, he was basically carrying Arsenal on his back. He was scoring all the goals. He was the one dragging your team for the most part, because Arsenal, we couldn't think of any other Arsenal player who was doing great, right? I think you had loaned in Ceballos. He had a few good performances, but again, the consistency, no. It was Aubameyang who was Mr. Consistent. Yo, Liverpool man, would you buy Timo in the summer off us? Remember, Klopp wanted him before we got him.
Hey, but
I tell you something, I tell you something. Liverpool could buy him and he could be the top scorer in the league.
I was just about to say that to you. Remember, it all depends on the coach and how he set him up in a formation. You understand? He could buy him and him can turn out to be exactly what Klopp wanted when Chelsea went and picked him up. True. You never know. You never know.
Tuchel is a good coach, counter-attack, not a great league coach. I disagree with you. I disagree with your one. I disagree with you. Because if we're to be honest, leading up to the weekend, only Liverpool and Manchester City had lost less games than Chelsea. Leading up to the weekend, Chelsea had lost the same amount of games as Manchester City, 3 games. However, the reason we were so far off is because the number of games that we drew, right? So you saying he's only a good cup coach, I think that's a bit disingenuous, because if we're to go by the records, 2 of his top attacking talent, Ben Chilwell and Reece James, have been out for basically half of the season, and still he has been able to maintain a 3rd place spot as well as competing with the top teams. The only team to beat Chelsea this season, Manchester City, beat us twice. Liverpool, who has scored the most goals in the league this season, they couldn't beat Chelsea over 2 legs, over 3 legs as a matter of fact, and only ended up beating Chelsea in penalty shootout. So no, I think that I can't say that he has failed in the league twice. No, he was 32 when they gave him a new 4-year deal. Who the hell does that? Could you money for him but kept him and left? Well, 4-year deal is a little bit too much in my opinion.
Too much,
and
definitely.
I think Arsenal needs to put mechanisms in place to say, okay, this is what it is. Same thing with Chelsea. We have a policy where once you're over 30, you don't get more than a 1-year extension.
So,
right?
And it's the same with Liverpool. Remember, with Wijnaldum and the whole 30, and he wanted a certain amount of years, and Liverpool was like, no, we're not doing that.
Exactly. So you can't expect to be giving these players so many years, because remember, when you pass 30, you consider to have passed your prime for the average player, right? So you'll be easier to get injured. You'll be a little bit slower. The average player, I'm saying, right? You'll have the odd case where you'll have a Luka Modric who's running like he's 21. You will have, and then some players change their game as well to adapt to the reality.
Right.
right? Cristiano Ronaldo at 37 understands that he's not 26 anymore. So he stands more on the pitch. They won't get him chasing around. He has failed in the league twice. No, I wouldn't say he has failed in the league. Last season when he came on in January. He got a team that he inherited a team from Frank Lampard. There was one signing that was made in the summer. The signing was Lukaku, and I think the signing was a board signing more than anything else, right? Because there was talk of getting Lukaku back from the time Lampard was there. So I disagree. I agree to disagree with you. 1-1. Look at your points tally. You are nowhere near winning the title. It's unacceptable. Nah, nope. Third place is not an achievement. No, third place is not an achievement. Not an achievement, but
neither is second place, because it's the second place are the first loser.
Exactly. And if we were to look at it too, if he finishes third, right, wins the FA Cup, remember he lost the League Cup final and gets to the Champions League semi-final, that would have been a good season as well. And again, we're considering all variables because he has been without Ben Chilwell, who is one of the top attacking wing backs, and he plays with wing backs. So again, it's similar to a few years ago when we had Antonio Conte at Chelsea and we had Victor Moses on one side and Marcus Alonso running down the other flank. Chelsea would not have been the same without Victor Moses. So it's just one of those things. All right. Premier League season is done well for the first season. Yeah. You break down poor teams and without the ball, you cannot win the Premier League. Did he say without the ball, you cannot win the Premier League? Without
that, you
cannot break down poor teams, and without that, you cannot win the Premier League. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. He hasn't, in my opinion, you cannot be 14 points off the lead and be doing well at Chelsea. He has failed. Pep has failed as well. If we're using that metric, that means all the managers who are in the top 4 right now are failing. Because Jurgen Klopp, in his first 3 seasons at Liverpool, was nowhere near where Tuchel is in his second season. Pep Guardiola, he was brought in to win the Champions League, and he's been at City, 5 years now, 4 years, still not won the Champions League. So, again,
I find it.
Yeah, you were winning games but not playing well last season. Luck always runs out. Champions League.
One so bitter.
Anyone can win the Champions League, but I don't see Arsenal winning it. That's it.
See, that's why Woodward's a bit tired. You fire shots off of the man team.
Yeah. No, but when you say anyone can win the Champions League, the Premier League shows who the real coaches are.
But remember, anybody can win the Champions League, but you have to be in the Champions League in order to win it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you're not in it, you can't win it.
Liverpool did not spend money. It took time for that reason. Chelsea have spent a lot. No, Liverpool has always spent money. Liverpool has spent money.
You don't spend it as vast.
Right. Liverpool has always spent money. They just balance the sheet. Liverpool has always spent money because if you check the players that are playing for Liverpool now, how many of them were there when Klopp came? Right? So Klopp built a new team. It took a few seasons, but he built an extreme. Yeah, he went out and bought Virgil van Dijk and Alisson for $150 million combined.
With the exception of Henderson, Trent, I think that's it.
Yep.
Henderson, Trent, and Matip. Those were the 3 that was there when Klopp inherited the team. Everybody else he bought after.
Where's your Champions League trophy?
Yeah.
Again, folks, thanks for joining us. Remember, as soon as you hop on, hit the like button. One on here sharing his dissatisfaction with Thomas Tuchel's tenure at Chelsea so far.
I think one want Tuchel become at Arsenal, you know.
True. Whether Arsenal have won it or not is irrelevant. Tuchel is not your father. Don't get upset. So, all right. So, Wono, let me ask you this: if you got the choice tomorrow to choose between winning the Champions League and winning the English Premier League, which one would you choose?
They haven't win
Because
both.
as things stand right now, Arsenal is nowhere near either of them. But
They haven't win both in a long time.
I'm just throwing it out there. Which one would you prefer, winning the Premier League or winning the Champions League? Which one do you think would bring more satisfaction to Arsenal fans? We leave that there while one forms his opinion on that. But as I said, I welcome your feedback. Premier League, nah, fair enough. Which one do you think Pep would prefer, considering he's won the Premier League, 3-4 times over the last 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think Pep Guardiola would prefer? Because when Tuchel came in, I think Chelsea fans, including myself, would have preferred winning the Champions League over the Premier League. And that's just me, because I only saw Chelsea win it once, and that was all the way back in 2012. No, I had to wait, 9 years? Roughly 9 years to see them win it again.
Right.
I've seen us win the Premier League 2 times in that period. So I would prefer winning the Champions League, and I got the Champions League. When the Premier League comes, it comes. We've won it a number of times. I'm not fazed by that. And we've won it with Antonio Conte, right?
Mm-hmm.
We won it with Antonio Conte.
And I won it with Mourinho.
Right. He's at Tottenham now. So let's see what that begets. Premier League. When you get slapped in the Premier League by lower class.
It was the poor. This sound like a London war, you know.
Yeah, Peter.
It sounds like a London war, you know.
Because only the best team wins it. That's not the case in the Champions League. Many dead teams win it. Like who? Many dead teams like who? Arsenal wouldn't make it out of the group stages if they get Champions League.
For the last couple of years, all the teams that have won Champions League are top teams.
No, let me put it out there for you now. If he had to choose between winning the Champions League and winning the Premier League, Pep Guardiola would choose the Champions League, and that's hands down. That's not even a question. That's not even a question.
I get what he's saying though. If you ask Pep, he would probably tell you both. But
yeah, he would.
Champions League,
and I'm sure, and it's the same thing with the PSG, with the PSG owners. Because these managers, these owners, they bring in managers to win the big one, and the big one is the Champions League.
The big one is the Champions League, yeah.
Yep, the big one is the Champions League. Pep Guardiola has won the English Premier League on a number of occasions. Chelsea has won the English Premier League on a number of occasions. So if we win it or if we don't win it, it's neither here or there. We would prefer
that's the reason
getting
why
that Champions League cabinet.
That's the reason why City went for him, you know. That's the reason City went for him, because
that's what I'm saying.
He won La Liga, Champions League. He went to Bayern. He won the Bundesliga, Champions League. So that's why City went for him.
Mm-hmm. You won when you're betting against a team? Oh, word? I won money because I knew we would lose, so don't understand.
Wow. Unknown, you sure he's an Arsenal fan?
You understand?
You're going against the grain.
Do you understand? It's one of those things, eh? Do you think Arsenal's best players, Saka and Martinelli, will leave Arsenal? Well, if Arsenal continues Champions League under Di Matteo, Porto won it, Liverpool were not the best team, and then they won it with the Gerrard. Well, when Liverpool won it with Gerrard, I must say, in my opinion, coaches who have never won either Champions League or Premier League would prefer winning the Premier League. After winning the Premier League, then Champions League becomes more important target. I agree. And that's and Cygnus. That's why I indicated that Pep Guardiola would prefer winning the Champions League because he's won the English Premier League on a number of occasions, right? Thomas Tuchel, he's won the Champions League with Chelsea last season. He still hasn't had a full season with a full fit squad because we had Ben Chilwell injured for the entirety of the season. In January, we tried getting back Emerson Palmieri in. That didn't work out. We had Reece James injured for a number of games as well. Those players contribute significantly to Romelu Lukaku and his goals. They were contributing to Romelu Lukaku and his goals before they got injured and Chelsea suffered as a result. We can't blame we can't blame Western football with emotion. You will lose. That's the facts are facts. True. 1-1. and 1-1. I put it to you. The same way you bet on football with facts, that's the same way you should reason football as well. And not with emotions, because when you reason football with emotions, then it sounds off. All right?
Very much so.
Yeah. Inter Milan were not the best team when they won the Champions League. Oh, so the best team has never won the Champions League then? Only the best teams win the Premier League. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I can put it out now.
Leicester wasn't the best team. And they won. So
Right.
not the best team won the Premier League. No.
The most consistent team wins.
Yeah.
The most consistent team wins the Premier League. And the most consistent team doesn't have to be the best team. So there is a difference, because probably a team comes out and they play at a 6 every week throughout the entirety of the season. 6 out of 10. And another team comes out and they play 10 this week, and next week they play 5, and the other week they play 7, and the other week they play 3. Right? So they're up and down, up and down, up and down.
While the other team consistent.
Right. So it's not the best team. Some teams are the best, but many were not. Okay. So the most consistent team wins the Premier League, not the best. Some teams were the best, but many were not. Leicester were the best team. All the top teams were terrible this season. Leicester won it. If you are the most consistent across the game, no. I disagree.
Leicester was the most consistent, not the best.
I disagree. I disagree again. I disagree. I disagree. Because all right, let's use a sprinting analogy then. 1-1. Right? Put it this way. Let me put it to you. If Usain Bolt comes out, and we know that Usain Bolt is the fastest man alive, he comes out and he runs 9.58 seconds today, right? And a regular man is running 10 flat throughout the entirety of the season. And come Olympics, Usain Bolt runs 10.05, and the same man that runs 10 flat. Will you say that person is the best sprinter throughout the season? Is he the best sprinter throughout the season? Because the statistics will say, he's been running 10 all the way through, right? He ended up winning at the Olympics. However, Usain Bolt has the world record because he got 9.58. So are you then going to say then the person who won the gold at the Olympics is a better sprinter than Usain Bolt, who run 9.58? Just a question. Maybe. Do you think Reece James is better than Trent? Who was better that season? What season? Let me see. I think I lost that. They were the best team. All the top teams were terrible this season. The Leicester won it. If you are most consistent across 38 games, no. He has the best when he was the best when it counted, but that wasn't my question. That wasn't my question. I saw what they did there. I saw what they did there.
We see you, Woodward. We see you.
That wasn't the question. But again, we can agree to disagree. I understand where one is coming from, and an argument can be made. That okay, the best team across 38 games is probably the most consistent team. But Also, you have to look at it. There was a season that Tottenham Hotspur didn't lose a game. Well, they didn't draw a game. It was either win or lose. Win or lose, win or lose, win or lose. So, if a team plays 10 games, wins 5 games, and loses the remaining 5 games, right? Win 5 games for 15 points. And another team plays same 10 games, right? And wins 3 games and then draws the rest of the games. Almost the same amount of points, or draws enough games to get him to 15 points. Which team would you think, or which team would you regard as the better team? The team that wins 5 and loses 5, or the team who wins 3 and draws what, 6, 3, 3, 9, and 6? Yeah. Let me know. The best team wins the league every year. They didn't win enough games to win the title. The facts are the facts. But you can also draw. You can. That's the same thing I'm talking about. You can draw a number of games and still win. You can draw a number of games. Do you think better Declan Rice or Tremani, the team that gets the most points in the season, is the best team that's
I'll be right back here.
Yeah, no worries, man. Take your time. All right. Let's go. Let's go into the who was the better team that season. Oh no, I'd like you to call in, you know. Let me send you back the link. Copy to clipboard. Definitely like to hear your opinion. Interesting take as always. But again, folks, if you're new to Halftime TV, please remember, hit the like button as soon as you hop on. As always, we appreciate feedback and we appreciate the opposing views. Always fun time hearing those opposing views, because if everyone had the same opinion, this world would be a boring place. Team that gets most points in the season is the best team that season. All right. So it doesn't matter how you get the points then, 1-1, right? It doesn't matter how you get the points. Once you get the most points, you're the best team. So if you play 10 games and you draw 10 games, and another person plays 10 games and wins 3 games and draws 1 and lose all the other games, who is the better team? Who is the better team? I think Rice would not represent better value. True. That we can agree on 1-1. I think David Moyes came out earlier and said Rice would be what, 150 million pounds. Interesting. I agree with 1-1 here. Team with the most points in a long EPL season is the best. 1-1 hop on. Yeah, we're sending the link as we want to hear 1-1's opinion on here. Cygnus Media, I agree with 1-1 on here. The team with the most points in a long EPL season is the best. Fair enough. Fair enough, folks. But so how those points are accumulated doesn't matter then. That's a question I'm asking you. How those points are accumulated doesn't matter any at all, as long as you get the most points. If you play 38 games throughout the season and you draw 38 games, so you finish the season with 38 points, and another team wins 10 games and draws or loses the rest of the games, then you are the best team because you draw all the games. Is that the level of reasoning then? Let me know. And it's quite an interesting take as well. Because they may not have the best players or the best, most attractive, but they were the best. True. So then we can say then we DCFC. No, I'm cool still. So then we can say then, no, I don't think it matters. Consistency is king. So okay, so all right. So consistency then, it makes you the best then. So once you're the most consistent, you're the best. No? So it doesn't matter if you're consistently at 5 straight throughout, or if you give 10 performances and then a few 3 performances. Once you're consistent across, even if you're consistent across the middle, then you should be considered the best. This Sunday will determine the winner of the EPL. Blessings, Richard Cham. Welcome to Halftime TV. This Sunday, maybe media definitely. Maybe let me know what you guys think. Will this Sunday determine the winner of the English Premier League? Manchester City versus Liverpool. Mind you, Liverpool still has Tottenham to play. They still have Manchester United to play as well. Do you think Manchester United can derail the Liverpool train? Do you think Tottenham Hotspur with their newfound form can cause an upset with Jurgen Klopp and his men? Does this game against Manchester City really mean that much? Do you think the winner of the game will in fact determine the English Premier League, as Richard Chang said? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, because that's quite an interesting take. I think there are still a number of moving parts, and a lot of media outlets, they will want to isolate this game as the title decider. But I think there's far more in the season than just this game. Liverpool is on a run of form now, nice run of form. They feel they can beat everybody, but is there this one bad game that they're due? Is there a glitch in the road for Liverpool after that Manchester City game? Is there a glitch in the road for Manchester City after that Liverpool game? We'll see. Paula Hall is the greatest coach, the greatest to only have one win. Passing the ball is nice, but winning game is what counts. Okay, I think I lost where that argument stemmed from. Anyway, what's your thoughts on Leon Bailey? I think Leon Bailey is a good prospect, you know. I think the hype he's gotten is primarily because a lot of his fans are Jamaicans, and again, as Wunwun mentioned before, we think with emotions when it comes to football. I think he still has some way to go. He's shown that he has the mindset and the work ethic to be a top professional, but he still has a long way to go. And I trust in a few years' time he will be one of the top talents across Europe. So again, still some way to go for Leon Bailey. We've only seen glimpses of him, and tying back to what Wunwun said, consistency is key. So Leon Bailey hasn't been consistent, whether it is for the Reggae Boys or Aston Villa. No, he had a good start to the season, got injured, was out for some time, is only now coming back. So I don't think we've seen enough of Leon Bailey this season to form a just opinion as it relates to his time in the English Premier League. But overall, he's a very talented player, but we all know that talent isn't enough. We need the hard work as well to back it up. So let's see how Leon Bailey does in his second season. This season, I can say it is just one of those things where stop, start. Hopefully next season he will kick on. As I said, the Nations League draw came out. Let's see if he can give some big performances for Jamaica in those games as well. Let me see if I can find those. Yep. So the CONCACAF Nations League draw, I think I had it here not long ago. Where is it? But yeah, Jamaica should be playing against Suriname, I think. Yeah, I think we will be playing against Suriname Nations League. Give me a second, let me pull it up, all right? Nations League. All right, found it. All right, so in Group A, we have Jamaica, Mexico, and Suriname. In Group B, Costa Rica, Panama, and Martinique. In Group C, Canada, Honduras, Curacao. And in Group D, we have the United States of America, El Salvador, and Grenada. And that's for the CONCACAF Nations League draw. All right, so I'll post it on my page, I think. Yeah, I'll post it on my page maybe tomorrow or later on tonight, just to ensure that all my viewers, they can see it. But again, Jamaica, we will be against Mexico and Suriname in our group, which is Group A. In Group B, Costa Rica and Panama and Martinique. Group C, Canada, Honduras, and Curacao. And Group D, we have the United States, El Salvador, and Grenada. Okay, so again, let's see what he does come the Nations League. Let's see if he can give us a good run of games. Someone said to me the other day when last set of qualifiers that Leon Bailey needs to take Raheem Sterling to Jamaica every time there's an international break, because it's the best he's seen him play for the Reggae Boys, and primary it could be because Raheem Sterling was in the stands. So probably Raheem Sterling is a cheat code. We need to have him in the stands whenever Leon Bailey is stepping out on the field to play. All right. True. Hopefully he can stay fit. Yep, fitness is key. Fitness is key, and the type of player he is, very explosive player. He definitely needs to stay fit. It's also easier for him to get injured as well. As a Liverpool fan, I believe that we have more depth. The lack of a true centre forward is finally starting to catch up with City. True. But one could say, because I've seen games where City they haven't looked like scoring, and they've been putting balls into some places where we're saying, okay, had it been a true out and out centre forward there, excuse me, they'd definitely be getting on the score sheet. But I don't think they've struggled that often in games to score. And Liverpool, they don't have an out and out centre forward as well. So it's tit for tat for the most part. Liverpool, they've been getting goals from wide areas. Jota and not Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, they've been the top scorers. Sadio Mane as well. Those are the top scorers, and none of these guys are centre forwards. Roberto Firmino, who is the closest thing you guys have to a centre forward, he's been playing on the bench for most of the season. So Liverpool probably plays the false nine system a little bit better than than Manchester City does, but I don't think either team has a problem scoring goals. When teams sit deep, Liverpool, they struggle as well, especially when Thiago Alcantara isn't playing. Manchester City, they struggle when teams sit deep, but it's more about the players finishing. So it might be a different scenario for Liverpool than it is with Manchester City, but both teams tend to struggle against a particular opposition, although for different reasons. So again, I don't think that will play a key role going through the rest of the season, but City will definitely go out and they'll get a striker. They'll get a striker. I think City have more depth in every position except for striker. I personally don't really like the no striker thing, but if they win the league, I can't talk. We will see. Well, they've won it without them before, because remember, when they won it last year, Sergio Aguero hardly got a kick. Gabriel Jesus when he came on, he was playing from the wing. So it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky situation where we will question it and we'll say it may be this, it may be a result of this. And if they don't win the league, we'll come back and we'll say it's because they didn't get a striker. But if they win the league, then what? Then what will we say? What will the argument be then? Will it be, okay, they'll still need a striker, or won't they need a striker anymore? And maybe not left back Richard Chang. Maybe not left back. True. There's Joao Cancelo, and who else is there playing left back? Although Joao Cancelo played, I don't even know where that guy plays. But they say it's a left back on paper. Probably Zinchenko. They have playing there every now and then. But yeah, it's one of those things. Most of City's goals come from the midfield. Whoever controls that mid will win Sunday. City oftentimes controls the midfield. And if Henderson and Fabinho, and who's the other guy? Henderson, Fabinho, probably Thiago, if he's fit. That three against Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and Ilkay Gundogan, or Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. It's on paper, City will always have a better midfield. So I can't say whoever controls the midfield win. It's oftentimes that's the easy way out when it comes to argument. Most times, midfield or whoever wins the midfield battle wins the game. City wins the midfield battle 9 out of 10 times. Most teams they play against, they win the midfield battle. I think they would be better with a top striker still, but if they win the league and Champions League, they don't need one. I don't think they need one, but they will be better. True. They'll be better off, but they don't need it. Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. And again, Pep knows how to work with what he has. He has been working well. They have been working for him. Sometimes it's Foden in there. Sometimes I think at one point it was De Bruyne playing centre forward. Bernardo Silva playing in there as well. So everyone gets their opportunity to be in there. Riyad Mahrez, he's been good. Raheem Sterling, I think he got a pair of assists on the weekend as well. Again, all these players striking form the right time, and I think that should be worrying coming on to the back end of the season. At one point the other day, I thought Raheem Sterling couldn't get a look in, but again, it is one of those things. Liverpool have the tactics and personnel to beat City. I don't know who will win, but if I had to choose, I would choose City. Huge game. Yeah, the good thing is, we'll get to that in a second, Richard. But the good thing is this game is being played at the Etihad, right? So City, they want to turn the Etihad into a fortress. And if they have intentions of doing that, I think this would be a good first step, beating Liverpool in a title deciding game in front of their home fans. The Blue Moon, they say. So I think City will have great incentives to win this game at home. And the game in the FA Cup semi-final, I think it will be a little bit more tricky, because whoever wins the first game, I think the pressure will be on them going into the second game. Or you can make an argument that they will be going into the second game a little bit more confident because they have one up on the opponent. But again, they'll be playing each other twice across a week, I think. Yeah, across a week, roughly a week, 10 days thereabout. It's interesting times ahead. Manchester City and Liverpool, the crunch part of the season, and both teams will be locking horns to decide who wins what. Manchester City stands in the way of Liverpool winning the quadruple. They could effectively cut those quadruple hopes into a double by the time we get to midway April. All right. So again, let's keep an eye on that. Going on through. You know who hasn't been good? $100 million Jackie Boy. Well, Jackie Boy is expected to sign a deal with Gucci, 7 figures, later this week. So he may not be good on the field of play, but the endorsements have been coming his way, and I'm looking at it, and I've been analyzing it and saying, okay, is this a new David Beckham kind of deal, kind of player? We know David Beckham was a party boy. He was the face of so many brands and commercial entities. Will Jack Wilshere be that player? Not Jack Wilshere, sorry. Where's Jack Wilshere playing now, by the way? Where's Jack Wilshere playing? Will Jack Grealish be that player? That's a big question. As I said, Gucci is looking into signing on Jack Grealish to a 7-figure deal over a number of years. Just to give you an idea, a number of players with the biggest commercial deals. There is Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, Lionel Messi, Neymar, Paul Pogba, N'Golo Kante as well. I think N'Golo Kante's deal with Adidas, $15 million. So he earns the same amount of money he earns from endorsement as he does from Chelsea on an annual basis. These players, they've been doing it off the field, and Jack Grealish, he will be one of the top earners as well, should this deal go through by the end of the week. So let's keep an eye on that. Jack Grealish, Gucci official ambassador come the end of the week, or who knows? These deals are very detailed. They can be extremely intricate as well. So let's see if it will be wrapped up by the end of the week, or it will take a little bit longer to manifest itself. But those are the reports that were coming out today. Jack Grealish expected to sign a new 7-figure deal with Gucci, and everyone must know Gucci by now. So it's one of those things. Anyway, we will be moving on now. Let me know your score predictions for the Champions League games tomorrow, folks. Leave those predictions in the comment section. Let's see if we can touch on those before we wrap up on the 2-hour mark. And next week, I'll try my best to see if I can get on probably a football player, but we'll have a guest on here. We'll try to get a guest on here. Don't want to be monotonous throughout the 2 hours of dialogue. All right. But yeah, the Champions League predictions, folks, let me know what your thoughts are. Who are you expecting to do well? What will the upsets be? Will there be any upset? What do you think of Pedro's goal over the weekend as well? I haven't spoken about that goal. What do you think of that goal? For those on here who saw that goal from Pedro, leave some fire emoji there. Let me know if you saw the goal from Pedro. And the Bayern Munich controversy. At one point, I said, for 17 seconds, they had 12 players on the field of play. Freiburg launched a complaint today. They want the game to be they want to get the points, for lack of a better term. And they indicated that the reasoning behind it because they want the precedents to be set for future incidents. All right, so let's hear your views on those as well. But again, Bayern's controversy and Pedro's goal, I think those are the last topics I'll discuss. Also, Real Madrid's penalty hat-trick. 3 penalties. 3 penalties awarded to Real Madrid. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think referees are being too lenient to top clubs? I've seen a number of questionable calls. Not Liverpool's game. Liverpool's game, I think it was a rugby tackle. Definitely should have been a penalty. But overall, there have been a number of favorable calls to the top clubs over the past few months. Was any of those calls for the Real Madrid game questionable? Are you satisfied that the referee did a good job? I didn't see Pedro. I didn't see it, but Pedro is one of the few top-level Spanish youngsters and one of a few top young midfielders at Barca. True. Barca fans will tell you he's a generational talent. Let me know what you think about that one. Let me know what you think about that generational talent. Ansu Fati as well. They're looking to get him back. Still trying to get that Gavi deal over the line. Ferran Torres proving to be a good acquisition. Dembele, no, he's had what? Almost 8 assists. Almost 8 assists since January. Yeah, I think he's had 8 assists since January. So one of those things where he's finding his form at the right time. The right time meaning he's expected to leave at the end of the season because he can't agree with a wage cut that suits Barca board. So come the end of the season, Ousmane Dembele will be a free agent and a number of top clubs will be looking at him. It is reported that he won't be accepting anything less than £250 million, £250,000 a week. Sorry. True referees have always been more likely to give penalties to top teams at home. VAR only overturns obvious mistakes, so it cannot always overturn soft ones. Speaking of VAR, do you think VAR has been misused? Because my interpretation of VAR is video assistance referee, but I think as of late, referees have been relying solely on VAR to make decisions. So it's not a case of assisting, but it's a case of VAR is basically refereeing the games. So the person in the VAR room, whether it is at the game or whether it is at an offside location, they're the ones refereeing the game. They're making the decisions, all the big decisions throughout the game. They're the ones making it. Whereas I think VAR was put in place to assist the referees, right? And assisting is far different from actually making the decisions for the referees. I'm yet to see a referee go over to the monitor and uphold his decision that was originally made. Still waiting to see that. So it still points in the direction that VAR is effectively refereeing all the games that we're seeing as of late. One generational talent is overused in my opinion. Everyone is a generational talent. I think Pedro is excellent and can become anything he wants. So yeah, go ahead, Pedro. Go ahead and become a goalkeeper. But yeah, generational talent is definitely overused. There are a few generational talents that haven't made it big, but again, we hear Pedro is the next Messi. At one point, it was Ansu Fati who was the next Lionel Messi. Folks got so excited that they even gave him the number 10 shirt as soon as Messi left. So again, generational talent overused. We agree in that regard. We need to understand that very few generational talents have emerged in our time. And as the term states, generational talent, meaning you don't see it that often throughout your generation. So we can pick out a handful of those, and probably not even a handful, but we can pick out a few of those who we can deem generational talent. The others, I think, are good players, some very good players, some excellent players. Generational talent, no, not really. All right, let's keep the questions and comments coming in, folks. And as I said, remember, hit the like button as soon as you come on. We will be with you for roughly 10 more minutes. We'll leave it at the 2-hour mark. So if you have any questions that you want me to look into, I can address those in the 10 minutes that we have remain. I think VAR must go. It makes the game less enjoyable to watch. Every fan poll says so, and I agree. Football, the viewing figures are down, and VAR will not help. They still get things wrong. But again, instead of saying VAR should go, because only goal line technology should be used because it's instant and cannot be argued with. But we can also argue, because if VAR were in use a number of years ago, probably England would have won a World Cup, right? Probably Argentina wouldn't have won that time with Diego Maradona with his hands of God. So there are a number of things a number of decisions in the past that resulted in the implementation of VAR, because they accepted that referees couldn't get all the decisions right, because the referees can't be everywhere at once. There are certain things that happen so fast in real time that it's almost impossible for referees to get it. And I'll even use a personal instance. In 2010, I was a member of the Russia's Da Costa Cup squad that won the Da Costa Cup that year, right? And Anthony Walker, he handled the ball, like a cross came in and he put his head towards the ball. He missed it with his head and he used his arm and he punched it in the goal, right? Russia's won the Da Costa Cup. I think that was their 9th hold on the title. Lennon, they protested, they argued, they did everything, and yet the decision was not overturned. Russia's went home celebrated. This was Lennon's first Da Costa Cup final, heartbroken. And although it's my team and I'm happy my team won, I'm just using this to say the technology isn't bad, the technology is good. But it's the maluse of the technology that is causing so much problem now in the game, right? The misuse of it, the individuals who are in the VAR room, they are the ones that are making the technology seem bad. We've seen it at the World Cup. We've seen it at the Euros. And what do both these competitions have in common? They have little to no English referees, and it's been doing well, right? We didn't hear a lot of complaints from the World Cup. We didn't hear a lot of complaints from the Euros. That's because we had less English referees. And I think even with the referee aspect of it, we have referees who they play the game, the ref today, and then tomorrow they're in the VAR room. That's garbage, right? I think whether it is former players who are interested in helping out the sport, or interested in getting the job in the VAR room, they should be trained on how to analyze the situation. And because they have the football know-how, they've experienced certain situations, and you'll see better decisions. So problem isn't the technology one, so I must disagree with that. I don't think VAR should go. I think it's a good addition to the game. I think the use of VAR, though, the maluse of it, that is what's causing so many problems in the game. That's life. It's a part of the game. Football is the perfect imperfection. They still don't get everything right. You won't get everything right. You won't get everything right. There's not even with technology, you get everything right. I don't like VAR full stop, too much stop start, having to wait 2 minutes to celebrate a goal is dead. Fully understood. During daddy duties. No problem, Walker, no problem. As always, I said, we always welcome you. I have a problem with using the line on the video to decide a close offside. True signals. That's one of my problems. That's one of my problems because the angles, the technology is a problem for me. Fans do not like it. But again, that's what I'm saying. Because the technology by itself, the technology by itself, one is just that. It's the same thing with a gun. If you have a gun, it's just a gun by itself. But a person may use a gun to shoot a deer for dinner, right? Whereas another person may use a gun to shoot somebody, to kill them, to harm them. So the gun by itself is just a gun. So the technology by itself is just that. It's just the technology, right? So when they misuse the technology, that's what results in the fans hating it. And this misuse has continued throughout the number of years that VAR has been introduced to the English Premier League. And that is what has contributed to fans not liking VAR. You get what I'm saying? So it's just that. I disagree. The technology is a problem for me. Fans. Media, exactly. I have seen them draw the line at the wrong angle. Yep. Again, the misuse. Again, everything ties back to the misuse of the technology. They're using the angles that suits them, and because even in the game is not the same thing. I'm not even talking about what they get wrong. All right, I'm talking about how it impacts the viewers. The fans enjoy watching football less. All right, put it this way, then 1-1. Suppose there was a cap on the time it took to make decisions, right? Because when you score a goal, initially you're gonna run off and you're gonna celebrate, and then 30 seconds later or 25 seconds later, the decision is complete. If it's a goal, it's a goal. If it's not, then it's not. Would you be satisfied then? So you have 25 seconds to determine, okay, is this a legitimate goal or not? So what that would mean is you would have a number of different persons instead of 6 persons or 4 persons. You probably have 12 to 14 persons breaking down all aspects of the play during that time frame. So as soon as the ball hits the back of the net, you have these different individuals breaking down different aspects and ensuring that he can easily draw. True signals. So breaking down all these different facets of the play as soon as the ball hits the net. And then within that 25 seconds, the decision is made on whether it is a goal or not. So you celebrate and everything, your celebration won't be cut short. You celebrate and everything, the 2-minute wait or all of that cut out. You have 25 seconds or 20 seconds to make a decision. If you don't make the decision, the goal stands. The ref is a Liverpool fan. He can easily draw a line. An appeal per team, maybe if we must do that. All the stop-start makes fans enjoy the game. That's true. The signals that's what happened in the game with Chelsea and Liverpool, in the League Cup final, because Romelu Lukaku was onside and they drew a line to suit Van Dijk. And even when they drew the line, they only showed it for like a second and a half on the television screen, and then they removed it. So we didn't see that back for the rest of the game. They showed it a second and a half, and then that was it. Didn't see it back because that was a legitimate goal, but they drew a line to suit them. If the ref is a Liverpool fan, okay, I am in favor of 1 appeal per team. Maybe if we must do that, all the stop-start makes fans enjoy the game less. True. Again, football, you're in the heat of the moment. Your team has momentum. You're all excited on all of that, and then you have to sit down and wait. For how long? A captain can make an appeal against a decision. Wouldn't ruin the game. For me, VAR is ruining the game. Well, I we must agree to disagree, one in that as well. I think it's good technology, but it's been used wrong, and because we consume so much of the English Premier League, it appears to be extremely awful. I've seen it in other leagues, and it seems quite okay in my view. I've seen it in Spain, seems all right in Spain. Seen it in Italy, seems okay again. So most places around the world, it seems okay, but in England, it's been awful, and it's a reflection of the English referees as well, because England has some of the worst referees in the world, and these are the individuals who are in the VAR room, and it has been a continued concern for pundits and football fans in England. A lot of us, we support teams in England, and as a result, when we speak about football in England and the use of VAR in England. All right, a lot of football fans, they have been concerned. They've been calling for the Premier League. It's never okay, in my opinion. Not being able to celebrate a goal is terrible. I disagree. It is never okay. Well, I think there are leagues that are utilizing VAR good. The English Premier League isn't one of those leagues, so I think players are okay with it, especially when it works in your favor. If it doesn't work in your favor, obviously you're not going to be happy with it. The celebration of a goal, again, you're celebrating your goal regardless. You celebrate a goal and then you're told it's not a goal, fine, but you're not going to stop and wait. The average player doesn't stop and wait on a VAR decision to celebrate. James Maddison, we saw him celebrate like crazy over the weekend. No. Spain's officials aren't way worse than the English Premier League. No. I have to disagree with that again. I watch the Spanish league every week. I haven't missed a La Liga game in quite some time. Once it's been aired, I'm watching it. And I think England's referees are the worst. England's referees are far worse than any other league. Far worse. Far worse. But again, that's a discussion for another day. As I said, folks, I'll be leaving it on the 2-hour mark. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Halftime TV. Remember, you can leave your comments in the comment section for this video. You've been with us throughout the duration of 2 hours. We'll be back again next Monday, same time, same place. Bring your questions, bring your concerns, bring the topics that you want us to discuss, and we will be more than happy to delve into that. All right. Agreed, VAR is not abused. In some leagues, it's not the competence of the referees. It's how often it is used. True. All right. So again, we appreciate all the love and the support. Thanks again for your feedback. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe if you're new to Halftime TV, and we definitely will try our best to get back to the comments in the comment section. All right, until next week, and we will be doing videos on a daily basis. Tomorrow morning we'll be doing Champs Day 1. You can look out for that one. You can hit the notification button on so you don't miss an episode of Halftime TV. But that's it from Orlando Brown here tonight. Cygnus, Richard Chang, Walker, Mr. CFC, all of you guys who have been with us tonight. Steph Curry, Quick Link Shipping, RS Sports Store, all my sponsors. We appreciate you guys. Until next week, peace out. I hope each and everyone has a productive rest of the week. Stay safe, everyone. Norando here again saying bye-bye. Have a good one.